What's up, guys? Jordan here from Show Me Vegas. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Las Vegas. You know, with the high cost of a Vegas vacation in 2025, sometimes you've got to go off strip in search of value. Or at least that's what I did. Last night I stayed here at Palace Station Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, and in this video I'm going to show you what it was like. Stay tuned. All checked in here to the cheapest room in the house. This is a standard 2-queen room here at Palace Station, and first impression, it looks just like every other station casino room I've seen before, and I mean that in a good way, not a bad way. This room is really nice. If you're not familiar with this property, Palace Station is just across the 15 freeway on Sahara Avenue, and it's primarily considered a locals casino. But being that it is much closer to the Strip than most of the locals casinos, I figured why not come check it out. After all, I have seen some fantastic deals here. This is the very first time I've ever stepped foot into this property, and I absolutely love to check out a Las Vegas property for the first time. I came in here about 4 p.m. after a long day on the Strip, and I just crashed into this room. I've barely had a chance to even look around, so I'm excited to check this place out. All that said, I'm ready to get started, so what do you say we go downstairs and see what there is to eat, see, and do here at Palace Station together.
Alright, it's already well after 6 p.m., so I hopefully will get a chance to check out the pool tomorrow. One thing I definitely need to do while I'm downstairs is eat. Fingers crossed that my first option doesn't have too long of a line.
So as I feared, my first choice for dinner was in fact too crowded. You probably guessed it already, it's the Oyster Bar. Station casinos properties are famous for their oyster bars, and this one here is no exception. It's extremely popular and there's usually a pretty long line. Tonight the line was like maybe 12 to 15 people deep. This is a Thursday night about 7 p.m. And they only have 15 or 20 seats or so at the Oyster Bar, so that could have taken me at least an hour to get through. I just don't have that kind of time. I wound up here at the Brass Fork. This is the 24-hour cafe. A great place for breakfast, but I have a different idea for breakfast tomorrow. So I'm gonna make dinner out of this. All right, let me show you the menu real quick so you can see what prices are like off strip. It is a little bit cheaper than you're gonna find on the Boulevard. In some cases, significantly cheaper. You can see we've got soups and salads. Entrees over here, the New York steak is $25. The other entrees are in the teens, less than $20 on everything else. Burgers and sandwiches, 15 bucks for the double cheeseburger. And most of them are $15 to $17. I got the roasted turkey half club. That's gonna come with salad and soup and French fries for $14.95, $14.99. And as you can see, beers are a little bit cheaper. 7 bucks for domestics, $8 for imports, $9 for craft and specialty. Wine, 10 to 13 bucks, cocktails, $14. So definitely cheaper than what you're gonna find on the Strip. I mean, most cocktails on the Strip are gonna be $18 to $22. That burger, instead of $15, is gonna be $22 to $25. So a pretty significant improvement if you come to a place like Palace Station off Strip. Food came out in less than 10 minutes and it looks pretty good. Here it is, the roasted turkey half club with a cup of chicken noodle soup and French fries. Listen, for 15 bucks, I can't complain about this. I am definitely used to Strip prices, and this seems like a great deal. And if I'm hungry later on, they've got a small food court here, so I've got money left over. You know what else? The Oyster Bar doesn't have a TV behind it, and it's NFL football now. Cowboys and Eagles are on TV. I don't have a dog in that fight, but it's good to be able to watch some football while I eat dinner. No complaints here. Well, I don't know if you can tell, but that was pretty good. I ate every bit of it. Maybe the soup needed a little salt and pepper, but other than that, for 15 bucks, I absolutely cannot complain. The football game is now suspended for a weather delay, and I'm no longer hangry, so it's time to get out here and get you your Palace Station resort tour. We always start in the main lobby on these resort tours, so why break tradition? This is the main lobby. It's a small lobby, but this is also a small hotel. It only has 575 hotel rooms. I mentioned this is a locals-focused casino, but I didn't mention this was actually the first locals-focused casino in the Las Vegas Valley, opening in 1976. We'll talk more about that as we go along. Just off the main lobby, there is a gift shop. They've got snacks, drinks, and souvenirs in here, and I've already had a chance to check it out. They've got some pretty sweet merch in here. Check this out. You know I'm a hat guy, and I've definitely got my eye on that one right there. That is cool. That one's not too bad either, and actually, t-shirts are pretty cool too. They've also got Vegas Golden Knights merch and some Raiders stuff. We don't need to show that. That's ugly. The hotel elevators are right across from the gift shop, and they do have security posted there. You have to show a room key before you can go up. Right past the gift shop, you do also have a Starbucks. Before you really get into the casino, this is the entrance to the pool. It's closed now. It is open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So hopefully, shortly after 9, I'll be able to go out there and show you that tomorrow. All right, let's get into the casino now. Today, this hotel has about 84,000 square feet of gaming space, which is pretty good size. It's on par with about like New York on the Strip, but not quite as big as most of the others. But when this hotel opened back in 1976, it was known as the Casino. Clever, right? And it had 5,000 square feet of gaming. Let that sink in for just a second. Before you really get onto the main casino floor, you see the brass fork. I already ate there tonight, so you know all about that. Let's get into the heart of the action. A Keno Lounge, very common in Station Casinos properties. Only 8 seats, but there is some action going on. This is pretty cool. The famous Oyster Bar is right over my shoulder. I was really sad to miss this, but there are only 18 bar stools. The line is around the corner. 4 lucky people are just about to get their seats because somebody just left. But there were probably 20 people in line, so 18 seats, 20 people in line. You do the math. If you come here during an off time, you might have a chance to get a seat, and if you do, consider yourself lucky. Again, did I say this smells fantastic? Right next to the Oyster Bar is the charcoal room. This is the steakhouse here at Palace Station. Looks really nice. I've heard good things about it. Of course, I've never eaten there. Looks like the football game's getting ready to get restarted. And what better place to watch than this? This is the STN Sportsbook. Station Casinos is really well known for their sports books. This is my first time seeing this one, and it is impressive. Look at the size of this. Something you don't see very much of in the mainstream casinos, or at least the strip casinos anymore, that Station Casinos are really known for is bingo. This is the bingo room here at Palace Station, and this is really nice. In addition to having tons of bingo space, there's also sports playing up on the screens, and there's a bar back there in the corner. I don't play bingo, but I don't know, maybe if I had more access to it, I might. One thing you're definitely going to notice about locals-focused casinos like these station properties is how tightly packed the machines are in here. Definitely a focus on slots. This is just like Red Rock, just like Durango. It is super packed in here. So while I've been touring around this entire property, I've been seeing these signs everywhere. So I decided I would sit down, take a break, investigate these prices, and watch a little football. Success, $3. And I know you're going to judge my beer selection, but listen, it was domestics only. Budweiser, Bud Light, Mick Ultra Zero. I think I made the right choice. There's not a ton of restaurants here, but the ones they do have look really nice, like the Charcoal Room. Also this Mexican restaurant here, whose name I'm not even going to begin to try to pronounce because I would only serve to embarrass myself. But it does look like a pretty good place. Right down here on the end of the casino, closest to the sports book, there's this. I would call it a food court, but can you really call it a food court when there's only two options? They are pretty good options though, a Wingstop and a Panda Express. All right, let's talk a little more history. By 1979, Frank Fertitta Jr. owned this place in its entirety, and then it was known as the Bingo Palace. In the early 80s, he was expanding and he wanted a new name that reflected the fact that they had more than just bingo. He actually created a contest to come up with a new name. The winning entry, Palace Station. Even though I don't see a lot of old school three-reel slots, there are some older machines like these Buffalo machines. I don't see these anywhere but station casinos. Red Rock had a ton of these. All right, let's talk table games. There are a lot of tables here at Palace Station, but they're not terribly busy on this Thursday night. That may be because the odds. You would expect the odds to be a lot better at a locals-focused casino than they are on the Strip. And for the most part, they are better, but not terribly so. Most of the blackjack I saw over there tonight is actually paying 6 to 5. They're $10 and $15 tables. The only one I saw paying 3 to 2 was a $25 double-deck table. You can play craps or roulette for $10 here tonight. Both roulette wheels were 00. There was no 000, so that's good. Aside from that, they did have some blackjack variants at $5 and $10, one of which I've never seen before called Double Deck Madness. I might go play it. Yeah, I know it's a sucker game. All right, a little more history. Throughout the 80s, this place continued to expand, and in 1991, they added the 21-story hotel tower that we have today. The 575 hotel rooms in the tower allowed them to become a little bit more successful with tourists in addition to locals. In 1993, Palace Station went public, creating the company we know today as Station Casinos. Station Casinos, if you didn't know, is probably the most successful casino operator amongst locals in the Las Vegas Valley. We saw the steakhouse and the Mexican restaurant. The other sit-down option here is China Mama. This is obviously a Chinese restaurant. It has $3 signs on the website, and it looks pretty nice inside, so I think it's pretty decent. This hotel did used to have a buffet. It was right down here on the end of the casino, and this was the space. I believe it was called the Feast Buffet. This closed in 2020, when pretty much all the other buffets in Vegas closed, and I don't think they have any intention of reopening. But if you look back in there, it looks like they could pretty much just open it back up again tomorrow if they wanted to. Let's talk slot selection. The selection here is huge. This is one of those casinos where if you can't find a game to play here, I don't really think you're a slot player. They have all the new games, and they do have some old stuff, but unfortunately, I don't see a ton of the old school three-reel slots. There are some older machines though. One thing I have noticed a lot of is video poker. That's a locals casino thing again. I haven't checked the pay tables on them just yet, but I have seen a lot of people playing them. Locals are pretty savvy. They probably wouldn't be playing these machines if they were bad games. Walk far enough back in the casino and you will find some three-reel slots. Not a lot, but hey, it's better than nothing. More old school Buffalo. They love these old school Buffalo machines. Love them. When you walk through this casino, you definitely notice how clean and modern it is, and that's because between 2016 and 2019, Station Casinos put more than $190 million into this property, dropping the old railroad theme and going with this more neutral, modern decor. I really like it. And I am a hotel carpet guy. This one's okay, it's kind of mid. I like the geometric shapes, but there are better ones on the Strip for sure. Now, my internet research tells me, and by that I mean Wikipedia, that Palace Station many years ago decided to go after more of an Asian clientele, and they started offering a lot of games that other casinos don't have. I would say that's still the case because there are table games over there I've never heard of before, including tons of Pai Gow. And they also have this huge gaming arena here at the back dedicated solely to Baccarat. or baccarat, depending on how cultured you are. Like pretty much every other station casino and a locals joint for that matter, there is a movie theater here. It's upstairs. It's called Cinnabar. There's also, I believe, a bar and restaurant with it. Cinnabar also has a pretty cool outdoor patio seating area and an outdoor bar. This is pretty neat. When the weather is nice, this would be a pretty cool place to hang out. And if you really lean around the corner, you can see the north end of the strip. There's the Strat. I see Sahara peeking out over there. A little bit of Circus as well. All right, I think I've done a pretty good job showing you this place tonight, and if I missed anything of significance, I'll show it to you in the morning. Stay tuned, because also in the morning there's going to be a room tour, and I hope to show you the pool. For now, I think I'm going to put this camera down and go gamble a little bit. Probably not slots, because I'm still a little bit sore from getting rocked at Casino Royale last night. Maybe that new blackjack game I was talking about, or just good old-fashioned double-deck blackjack. Either way, I will see you guys in the morning.
Good morning from Palace Station. I did sleep pretty well last night. That bed was really comfortable. I did not like the pillows, but the mattress was great. The sheets were really good too. It is too hot in this room. I set the thermostat to 62, and I bet it's still 70 degrees plus in here. I am a hot sleeper, so that wasn't very good for me. It was really quiet in this room last night, almost too quiet, but that iHome alarm clock over there next to the bed has a charging pad on top of it, and it's Bluetooth compatible, so I was able to play my Sleep Sound app through that. Get it nice and loud, cut through that silence. I need some coffee, and there is no in-room coffee in this room. There's not a fridge either. I'll get that room tour to you in just a minute, but I need coffee and breakfast, and I really don't feel like going downstairs this early. Luckily, they do offer old school in-room room service. So I'm going to order breakfast from that. I've already shown you the brass fork anyway, and that's the best place for breakfast here. I would imagine this food probably comes from there. I'm going to order some room service, get my day started, and then I'll give you that room tour.
Thanks for calling room service. Please leave your name and your room number, and we'll return your call as soon as possible. If you're calling between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., we are closed. Thank you again for calling room service. Bye.
We'll see. Hey, you're probably wondering about this bruise on my arm. I was riding the Skylink at DFW the other day, and I was holding onto the pole like this, and I pinched the crap out of myself. About a day later, that bruise showed up. I'm old. Well, room service has been quite an adventure. They were supposed to call me back. They didn't. I finally called them back and got my order taken, and they said it was going to take about 35 minutes for the food to get to the room, which I thought sounded pretty fair. Great, I got a chance to take a shower before it gets here. Right? Wrong. 15 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. I wasn't even dressed yet. I had to scramble around. I guess I can't be too upset about it arriving early, but let's go see what the food looks like. Classic presentation on the tray. Boy, it's been a long time since I had room service. Old school room service. I'm excited about this. It's kind of dark over at the desk, so you're not going to be able to see this food very well. And did I mention it's hot in this room? At least if I sit over here by the window at this awkward little table, I can feel the air conditioning blowing on me. All right, let's see what we've got here. Got 2 slices of wheat toast. I got the ham steak and eggs. It was a bone-in ham steak, and that thing is humongous. It's got grill marks on it. Came with hash browns and 2 eggs. Your style, I got over medium. That's a pretty hearty breakfast. This was $16, and then the half pot of coffee was $7. Did I mention room service has been a roller coaster? I got it all uncovered, poured my coffee. There's no silverware. There's a spoon to stir my coffee, but I don't think I can eat a ham steak, eggs, and hash browns with just a spoon. Time to call back downstairs. Silverware was delivered quickly, and I'm not gonna lie, this is quite good. The ham steak has a great grilled flavor. The eggs are cooked exactly how I ordered them. Hash brown's a little bit soggy, but that's kind of room service. They kind of steamed in there while I waited. But overall, for the price I paid, I can't be upset about this at all, and it's nice to be able to eat in your room.
All right, breakfast was pretty good, and I can already tell some of you in the comments are going to balk at that price, but let me tell you, I don't think that was a bad price at all. Just a few bucks more than I would have paid if I'd sat downstairs in a restaurant somewhere and I had the convenience of having it delivered to my room. All right, already quickly running out of time. Let's do this room tour. It's not a huge room, so it doesn't exactly need a grand room tour. This is a premier double queen room here at Palace Station. This is the most basic room they have. I actually booked this room specifically because it was like $9 cheaper than the king room. We'll go over those details later on at the wrap up of the video, but this room checks in at 340 square feet, which doesn't surprise me because I told you it was small. Certainly you're going to notice the small size, but the room is really nice. I love the decor in here. Much like the other station casinos I've stayed at, there is a nice desert tone motif in here. Browns, tans, a little bit of gray. I love the furniture and it's all in pretty good shape. The beds are of course on this wall, and I love the built-in headboards with the accent lighting. I also love the colors and all the accent pillows. These beds were crisp when I checked in, trust me. Slept in that one, sat on this one. Doesn't look great now, but the room presented very well at check-in. And when you book the cheapest room in the house, you probably should expect that you're not going to get much of a view, but this is one of the worst I've ever had. I have a great view of the parking garage. If I look out at that angle, I do have a couple of palm trees and I can see the mountains in the distance, but this is only the third floor. This is the lowest floor available to guests here at Palace Station. Now, of course, I mentioned there's not a lot of space in this room, but there is just enough space over by the window for a nice little seating area. 2 comfortable leather chairs and a table in between. This is not made for dining, but I did use it as my dining table because, like I said, I wanted to feel the air conditioning, and also because this desk, well, it's got a couple issues of its own. Let me show you. This is the desk, and there is plenty of space to work and a nice leather pad here to work on. The problem is it's dark on this side of the room when it's not daylight outside. There is no lamp on the desk, and I'm certain there's supposed to be one right there. Also, this chair, this is not a desk chair. This is like a dining chair, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little bit low. This is not conducive to getting much work done, which might be a problem if you're staying here for a conference or you're in town on business. This is your nightstand in between the 2 beds. I mentioned this earlier. That was a nice touch. It does have USB ports on the front, also a charging pad on top. It's also Bluetooth compatible. And back over here behind the phone, you do have a couple more outlets and a couple more USBs. So that's a nice touch. The desk is at the end of the entertainment wall. This is a nice sized TV. I'm guessing that's about 55 inches. You've got a lot of counter space, 4 nice sized dresser drawers. And like I said, this desk area, here's where I think there should be a lamp. A lot of times, these walls that are accent walls like this, they have built-in backlighting. This one does not. So on this whole side of the room, there's not a single light. Like I said, after dark outside, it gets very dark in this room. All right, pardon the echo, but we're into the bathroom now. This is your basic bathroom layout, but it's pretty decently sized. It does have a single sink vanity over to one side with a nice granite top. There's a tub shower combo on the other side. It does have a glass door, no curtain. I love the glass. The toilet is in the middle, and if it matters to you, this is a power flusher. This is one of those, it's like an airplane lavatory. You're afraid you're gonna get sucked down if you don't close the lid. Overall, it's not a great bathroom, but it's not bad. It'll get the job done. And even though it's only got a single sink, there's plenty of room for 2 people to move around in here at once. Just absolutely no privacy, that's for sure. Most importantly, this room was perfectly clean. I looked these rooms over pretty good and I couldn't find any fault with this one whatsoever. The bathroom was spotless. The tub and shower were clean. The glass was crystal clear. I couldn't find any rogue hairs. And in the bedroom, the carpet had been vacuumed, no crumbs were found anywhere, no smudges on the surfaces. Everything was in good working order and perfectly clean. You can't ask for much more than that. What would checkout day be without a mad scramble to the end? 40 minutes till checkout and I haven't shown you the pool yet, so I'm gonna get downstairs and do that. Then we will come back up here and I will give you my overall thoughts and perhaps some pros and cons for staying at Palace Station in 2025. Be right back. So this is the Palace pool here at Palace Station. It's a small pool, but this is a small hotel, only 575 rooms. This is plenty big for that purpose. It's just one body of water and there is a hot tub. Looks like they have 4 cabanas and a lot of day beds. It's early, it's not even 11 o'clock yet, so there's not much going on down here. There is music, but this is right next to the freeway. That's the I-15 right there, and you definitely get a lot of hum from the traffic. Not that relaxing, if I'm being honest. Right over here is the bar. Let's go take a look. Also, I will say I have seen one cocktail waitress. She might also be the bartender, but she's been going around to the people that are here offering drinks. This pool definitely was upgraded back in that 2019 remodel. This is actually really nice. This is the outdoor pool bar. Looks like they do have Dole Whip back there, and of course, all your cocktails and some draft beer. I've got to say, I do love this area over here. They've got a turfed area with a bunch of reservable day beds. They've got some outdoor games, looks like Connect 4, some cornhole boards. This is actually really nice, a nice little outdoor yard, if you will. All right, back in the room, here we go again. 22 minutes until checkout time. Let's go over my overall thoughts. And I don't think I'm gonna do pros and cons in this one because it's off strip. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to compare pros and cons, off strip versus on strip versus downtown. I don't normally do them on downtown hotels either. So let's just go over my overall thoughts, and I'm gonna run through the different categories here and tell you what I think about them. Not necessarily give you a rating, but let you know what I think about them. Let's start with the room. This room is okay. I mentioned numerous times it's small, and that's fine. It is lacking a little bit in some amenities. For instance, I said it was dark. There's not nearly enough lighting in this room. There is no refrigerator. There is no coffee maker. When I stayed at Durango, which is another station property, I had an espresso machine. There were a couple bottles of water in the room. I even had a fridge to store my things. Same company, different result here. Now this is a lot lower price point, but this is the type of place I would expect to find that sort of stuff. All right, let's talk about the casino and the amenities on site here. Overall, I like the casino. It most certainly is a locals casino. It definitely has that vibe, which for the most part is good. It means the casino is busy, it's bustling down there, it has atmosphere. However, for a locals joint, I would have expected to find better odds. I went through a couple video poker machines, including at the casino bar. The pay tables were what you normally find on the strip. Also, I mentioned the table games. There was only 3-2 blackjack at a $25 double-deck table. All the lower limit tables were 6 to 5. As far as amenities are concerned, some station casinos have a bowling alley. This one does not. There's not a showroom, at least to my knowledge. I didn't see any karaoke or any live performances going on at any of the bars downstairs. So from an entertainment standpoint, if you're here for more than one night, you're gonna wanna go somewhere else to find something to do. I do not see this as a property where you could stay for a 3-day weekend and not get bored. I definitely think you would get bored. Also, there is really nothing walkable from here. You're not gonna walk to the strip, and you really don't wanna leave this place and just go walking around. You're at essentially I-15 and Sahara Avenue. There's not a whole lot to do around here. You're definitely not gonna leave the property unless it's in a car. All right, let's talk about value, because that's why you're here, right? You're not gonna drag yourself off strip to a place unless you think you're gonna get better value. I'd say the value is pretty good. Let's talk about my room rate. I have my folio pulled up. All in last night, I was about $112. My room rate was $59. Of course, there was a resort fee and taxes on top of that, so about $112 on a Thursday night, which I think is pretty good. I haven't had a chance to look at weekend rates. I'll pull that up on the screen right now. But I think if you can get this room on the weekend all in for $150 or less, it's a pretty good value. Value around the rest of the property is also pretty good. The Brass Fork has great rates. I told you the room service I thought was a pretty good deal. You do have some cheap eats like Panda Express and Wingstop downstairs. I actually brought some Panda Express back up here at 11:30 last night and devoured it here at this desk while I watched a little TV before bed. And overall, looking at the menu prices downstairs at all of the restaurants, I just kind of checked them out last night. I would say that menu prices are probably like 20% less than what you're going to find on the Strip. In addition to that, pretty much all the hotel bars downstairs participate in some drink specials, including $3 beers, $3 shots, and $1.99 margaritas. I had one of those $1.99 margaritas, and you can make it a double for $2 more. Overall, I'd say the value is pretty good here. All that said, would I come back to Palace Station again and stay? Probably not. I'm just being honest here. This was not exactly my vibe. If I want to go to one of Station Casino's locals establishments, I'm definitely going to Durango or Red Rock first. This one's definitely closer to the Strip, so you do have that option to come here, take a couple of cheap Ubers back over to the Strip. Yesterday when I came here from Casino Royale, I think my Uber was like $12. So that's not gonna break the bank. But for me, this is not a place I would come back to because, like I said, I'm gonna get bored here after just one night. Hey, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, give it a thumbs up and look down there, see if you're subscribed. If you're not, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get notified anytime we release new content here on Show Me Vegas. As always, I've got to be moving on. I will see you in that next video because there's always more for us to show you on Show Me Vegas.